Welcome, thank you for joining me. My name is Daniela. Today I want to go back and do the next chapter, and you're not going crazy, you're just waking up. And I really feel like this is such a powerful, important book because of the subject matter that it's discussing. Today we're going into the chapter about its disorientation stage, and all of it's a powerful experience. But when you're in this stage, the vulnerability is huge, tremendous. And it's during this stage, many of us doubt even our own ability to trust our own decisions. And that truly, when you can't even trust yourself, it really places you in such a vulnerable position. Because think about that. Not only do you not trust others, but you don't trust your own decision-making process. Are you able to make a good decision for yourself? That's some powerful stuff. Like losing trust and belief in yourself. Wow, right? Think about it. I've been through it, so I'm not just commenting on this chapter. I know I would tell people, like, I don't know, Jack, I didn't know what to do. Like, you're not quite sure what the next step is to follow because you're so lost, and it's like your whole world was turned upside down. So, and if you feel like you've been a reasonable, logical person up to that point, and then you're like, I don't know, bleep. Yeah, that it definitely shakes you to your core. But again, I've been through this process several times, and many of us have, okay? You may not recognize what you went through, but you've been through it. I think it's impossible to be experiencing life on this planet without having these experiences. It's actually a great experience because it gives us an opportunity. Once, wow, this is like some real brutal stuff. But the truth, once we feel, many of us, if not all, once is a time where we feel like we know everything, right? And it's kind of funny because people say that about different age groups, and I don't want to label anybody because I don't think it's true. They say that teenagers think that they know everything. Yes, that's the case. But are you telling me 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds? I mean, some of us, I think it doesn't depend on a calendar age as much as learning from your life experiences, growing and evolving. And then I think we surrender and become humble and realize, like, wow, I really don't know. You know, you think you do, but then you just find out you don't really know all of it, do you? Right? It seems like the more I grow and evolve, the less I feel like I know, the less I'm certain of, and I question everything. And I really think that's a very good practice. This experience can teach us to surrender. Now, this is vital to a healthy soul because if you think you're going to stay in charge and run the show, you're spinning your own wheels. We need to learn how to surrender and go through these experiences with grace. And the more that we surrender, the more ease, right, that we'll go through this process. So the soul definitely needs us to get to that point of surrender. It's vital for our healthy soul and not holding on to faulty belief systems. And that's the thing. Because if you think you know it all, oh, okay, so everything that you've ever learned from a very young age, that's all, you're okay with all that? Don't you ever think about things and go, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel like truth in my heart or my gut. And the whole thing with the evolution of the soul is learning to live out of your heart and trusting your discernment and loving all that is. We're all connected. It's not a world of separation and duality like we've been led to believe. I mean, if you want to live in a 3D dimension, sure. But as we grow to 4th and 5th D dimensions, we're living out of our heart space and loving all that is. So the more, it doesn't only pertain to me, but a lot of people that I know. The more you are attached to controlling your own life and the lives of others around you, the more you will feel disoriented when the illusion of control vanishes. because there are people that they have everything scheduled, right? You know, that I'm a big to-do list person just because with my brain injury, if I don't do that, it's not going to get done. Like, boop, it's gone. So, but there are others that need to control every aspect. And I find this really interesting because I think most people do not enjoy being controlled. So if that's true, just my observation, perception, if most people don't like to be controlled, why are we trying to control others? And do we really have a right to control others? Aren't we all experiencing this journey, right? And doing the best that we can. So why is it okay to control the life of another? I'm just putting it out there for people to ponder this, because I feel like children come through us, not for us. And we're here to guide, but the path of least resistance, like, you give them the information, you try to guide them and support them and love them, but at the end of the day, they're going to need to learn from their own experiences. And if you try to really control them, I feel like you're just pushing people away, your own children, your loved ones in general. So I digress somewhat there. So this can be a very tricky stage. Remember, when I was going through it, I didn't know what the heck to do. So this is my suggestion, working with your intuition or your inner guidance system to learn when to fight back or when to surrender to the process. Now, this is a huge lesson. A friend of mine, and I'm going through this too, you know, there are times where I'm speaking my truth. People have a tendency to maybe not be in love with that, right, when you speak your truth. But I have a really good friend, and you'll recognize yourself in this video, that she says to me she can no longer keep her mouth shut if she wanted to. And her truth just keeps coming out of her. And I said to her yesterday, but what if it's necessary for these people to hear what you have to say? And I really believe that's true. Somebody recently apologized for something that happened, I guess, about 30 years ago. And I said, what if that person's been holding, because the person knew exactly what the reference point was. And I said, what if that person needed for you to bring that topic up just so they could apologize, because they've been holding that burden of guilt this whole time, knowing what they did was wrong. So it's not just a matter of maybe you speaking your truth, but giving someone opportunity to apologize and freeing not only yourself of that heavy feeling, but them as well. All right, so speaking our truth. And like I said, people that have a hard time speaking the truth, they will generally have conditions like, say, thyroid conditions, or perhaps sore throat and tonsillitis, different things with the throat, nodules sometimes on the vocal cords, because if you keep swallowing your truth, you're affecting your energy in your throat, and they call it dis-ease, being uncomfortable with, so that energy gets stuck and clogged, and you don't want that. You want your truth to come through you. But this is a huge lesson, speaking your truth during this process. And it could be a monumental lesson for us to learn. Another lesson, though, just as huge, depending on what you need to learn, is practicing being a co-creator and focusing your energy, your attention on that what you want to manifest in your life. So you have this speaking your truth, speaking up for yourself, instead of being the doormat, being the victim. And then if you're always trying to control things, it's surrendering and realizing, this isn't really working for me. I'm beating a dead horse here. So I need to become a co-creator. Again, living out of your gut and your heart and finding where your truth is. Now, a great practice, and believe me, I started realizing it. You know what? Even when I was like 18, I realized I keep hitting a cement wall. Perhaps this isn't the correct way to go. And I do feel like, not 100%, because I am human, but a lot of times I'm like, doesn't feel right. I've tried everything I can. This isn't working out. So if you feel you've done all that you can to make a situation like go in your favor. Something that you want to bring into your reality, and you've done everything that you possibly can, and it's still not happening after a prolonged period of time. And all, like if you're in meditation, you're like, oh, try this, try that, because normally you're not gonna receive information on how to do something that you're not meant to do. It's more like you'll receive guidance about maybe this is direction that you need to go into. So this has happened to me several times, careers, relationship. And there are times where people wanted me to do a lawsuit or something with my career. And I'm like, no, I kind of feel like it released me, because if that situation didn't happen, I wouldn't have switched careers. And I know in my heart that that was the right thing to do. I wasn't listening, so the universe took it out of my hands and made that door close, and it was such a freeing thing. I knew it wasn't meant for me to start suing somebody over. It's what was meant to be. So knowing when to surrender, and this is not the road I'm supposed to go down, not the career I'm supposed to go into, not the relationship I'm supposed to go into. People may not like this, but I remember hearing more than once that people will say that God's not answering their prayer. And I remember laughing when I've heard, God is answering your prayer, but God's saying no. Sometimes what you're trying to manifest, God says no. And that's true. Now, if the wish or desire that you're trying to bring into your reality, and it just doesn't seem like you're running into obstacles. And I'm not saying give up on dreams, but when you can feel it in your gut, like this just isn't right for me. A very helpful thing, is it serving just you? Like whatever that you're trying to bring into reality, is it serving just you, or is it for the greater good of all? And there are some people that want to bring something into reality that is not good for the greatest good. It will be harmful to others. And think about that. We're all connected. So if you're hurting others, does that sound like it might be a good thing? No, you can feel that it doesn't feel right. And we also need to recognize when something is done, that relationship is done, that career is done, it served you, and it's time to move on, and we need to surrender to that as well. Even our journey on earth, I'm all for fighting for better health and manifesting, creating solutions. But if you exhausted all resources, some people have a hard time surrendering, even if they don't choose to be on a planet anymore, but they feel like bad about giving up this fight. And you'll know it when it's time for you to even exit the planet. You've done everything humanly possible. You've learned your lessons. You've completed your lessons, and perhaps it's time to release. Only you and God, Creator, Source, can answer that question. Just something, because I know a woman, she fought cancer for a really long time. Great fight. Her partner was on the other side. And even though she still had fun here, she was tired and she was ready to go. And I heard that the night that she passed away, I was out of the state, someone went to visit her in a hospice, and they said, you fought a really long battle. You should be proud of yourself. It's okay to surrender and move on. And she died that night. It's like she needed to hear it, that you didn't lose. You did everything that you could, because you know what? She did not have that sick energy. She was becoming weak, but she was such a fighter. I was really blessed to know her. She was an awesome lady. I still miss her. She used to call me Daniela the Great. She was just a wonderful woman. So let's see, the best interests of all. And the stage involves artists. Woo, I'm so glad I remembered those. I do write notes, so I try to occasionally go on to the next thing. The state involves letting go. Huge for me, but not just me. Letting go of a fear-based life, okay? Letting go of a fear-based life. And it's just like making a decision. Is the universe loving and kind to me, or is it cold and against me, right? So one of love or one of fear. And again, this is a decision I feel like each individual needs to make. And recently, I don't know, within the past year, 9 months, I don't know, time, who knows, I realized how loving and compassionate and supportive the universe is for me. It is not against me. It is not a harmful universe. That is my belief system. And anything I say has to feel right in your heart or your gut. If it's not, you throw that away. It just isn't serving you at this time. So letting go of a fear-based life and old perceptions, faulty programming, surrendering to a higher power which is inside of us all along. I don't know, maybe this is just something I'm learning right now. Yes, a higher power, but that God spark is within us, right? Co-creating and everything. We're all connected. The planet, everything that's on a planet, the universe. We are all connected. So I feel like surrendering to that higher power is getting out of your ego and living out of your heart and co-creating. Because I can't manifest something. I choose not to manifest something that would cause someone harm. I want love and a good life, health and all that, but I don't want to hurt anyone in the process. You know, great career, but I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't feel like if you have something, that means I don't believe in that at all. That's a fear-based scarcity belief. So observe your life. This is another helpful tip. Living with the innocence of a child. I think that's really, really important, because look at how most children will just jump, right? They're just lovingly enjoying life. If we can get that innocence back and just, I want to be blissful. My desire is to be blissful in every moment of every day. My life has changed drastically since that's my perception, and I really am enjoying my life. So being as innocent as a child, that means remembering how to play, remembering to have fun. I think too many people, like, we feel like growing older, responsibilities, I gotta like kind of weed that out. Ugh. That's a way to grow old and stale and stagnant. That is not a recommendation I make to anyone. So observe your life, realize, because again, we're in disorientation, so confused, why is this happening? But realize when you start observing your life, you haven't been experiencing people or situations as they truly are. I know in the past that I thought people were very good for me. Certain people, certain friendships, certain romantic relationships, certain family relationships, that they were loving and supportive, and I was fooling myself. Some people want to keep you down because it makes them feel like they're raised up. That's not something I personally want to be involved with. I still love them, but I send love and light from a distance. I don't want to harm anyone, but I'm also not going to put myself in a position where people are not respecting my boundaries. So again, observe your life or what you've recently been through, and realize that you haven't been experiencing people or situations as they truly are, and not what you want them, like see them for who they are, what they are, and not for what you want them to be. And really, is that really loving someone when we see them as they are, not truly? Because I feel like to truly love someone is accepting them for who they are. And the reason why this can be so painful to us is the powerful death of the illusion of our life, the illusion of the different relationships, the career, the friendships, whatever. I have to tell you, that stuff can really hurt. But once we see things clearly for what they are, that's very, very healthy for us and the different individuals involved. The other thing that I like about that, we could also, with our higher selves and their higher self, put out a new contract to have a different kind of healthy, loving, supportive, honest relationship. Because if it's not, is that really something you want to be involved in? Is that something that feels good to you? So I hope this helps. If you enjoyed this information, this is a YouTube channel on spiritual growth and development, metaphysical growth, right? Evolving, growing. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. that helps other people be attracted to the video. The other thing is, I'd greatly appreciate you sharing this video with anyone that you think you'd benefit from, and sign up to for my YouTube channel so you're notified when the next video is released. If you would like a private psychic or mediumship reading or healing, you can go to my website, www.danielladecastro.com. And once again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I know we all have very busy lives, but I truly feel it's my dharma to share wisdom with you. We all come into this world with a purpose. Many blessings. Namaste. So much love. Bye-bye.